7. Last Action Hero. Last Action Hero was truly an original by taking the audience, particularly one boy, onto both sides of the screen. When Danny Madigan is given a magic ticket, he is transported into an action movie with one of his favorite characters. Once in the film he loses the ticket to the villains, allowing them to cross back over into the real world. Danny and the movie hero Jack Slater, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, must also enter the real world in order to stop them. This movie is an outstanding combination of comedy and action and has great potential with today's filming industry to become a franchise. Dwayne Johnson playing Jack Slater paired with MJ Anthony, who blew audiences away with his work in Chef, taking on the role of Madigan could be the magic ticket to get a remake of this movie to the top of the box office. It also wouldn't hurt to have Suryan Cullen reprise his role as Death. 6. Every Which Way But Loose. Clint Eastwood stars in Every Which Way But Loose as Phil Obedo, a trucker and prize fighter in the San Fernando Valley. This film reaches a new height in cinematic history by having Eastwood upstaged by an orangutan. A reboot of this film starring Dwayne Johnson would allow him to show his comedic talent as well as the action for which he is known. This movie could be different than the majority of the action movies in Johnson's past in that it takes away the guns and gets closer to the roots of his entire career. Beto is a prize fighter in hand-to-hand combat, which would allow The Rock to show off his aptitude for fighting choreography. In an added bonus, it would be thrilling to watch Johnson balance a masculine demeanor with an unusually close relationship with an orangutan. 5. Timecop.
È andata diversamente, vero? Succede quando si cambia tempo. Linee di confluenza, probabilità statistiche, tutte stronzate.
Timecop. Timecop centers on Max Walker, who is a regulator of time travel. He finds himself the only obstacle standing in the way of a politician who plans to alter the past in order to create his own future. This story has so much potential due to the ability it has to visit well-known historical events from a new vantage point or showing them altered, which is something that audiences love. The ability to develop characters in this story is also limitless in that the politician, originally played by Ron Silver, could have a vast list of motivation outside of simple power. We could also watch the struggle Max Walker, whom of which we would cast Dwayne Johnson to portray, as he earns the ability to travel through time and the moral obligation not to change the worst parts of his life. 4. Witness. Witness. What do you get when you take Harrison Ford, make him a police detective, and drop him into an Amish community? You get Witness. This film has it all: philosophy of violence versus non-violence, crime, drama, romance, the Amish, everything. A police detective is forced to live in an Amish community when the only witness to a murder is a young boy that lives within it. A remake of this film could be different from most of the rest of Dwayne Johnson's action credentials in that it would pit him to use more mental strength than fighting in order to stop harm from coming to others instead of the usual gun battles and large explosions. This type of character development is what creates action hero franchises, and how better to develop character by dropping a take-no-prisoners police detective. 3. Airwolf. Airwolf. Not too many people are familiar with this title. Airwolf was a television series in the 1980s that chronicled the adventures of a pilot as he searches for his missing brother. The show was rebooted and had a straight-to-TV movie but never made it to the big screen. It is time that this show receives a 21 Jump Street treatment and gets the opportunity to have a big-budget film. Dwayne Johnson's audition to take on the lead role is already complete in the form of the movie San Andreas. In San Andreas, Johnson plays a rescue chopper pilot who goes into the middle of destruction and devastation as an earthquake rocks California. Where his main goal in San Andreas is to save his daughter, No spoilers as to the mission's success. Airwolf takes a different route in that it is an ongoing journey where he must go on missions for an intelligence agency in exchange for information about his brother, giving this title a greater chance at becoming a franchise.
He wouldn't mind if I stole one of his helicopters.
2. 3 Men and a Baby. Johnson did start his career as a professional wrestler and stepped into more serious action movies when he first started working in films. He has shown that he is interested in family-friendly comedy as well, with films such as Tooth Fairy and The Game Plan. Where these films may have been a step too far into the family-friendly realm, this reboot could walk the line that entertains parents and children alike. Dwayne Johnson starring alongside Paul Rudd and Ashton Kutcher could be an odd grouping of actors that bring different types of comedy to the screen, and if they find chemistry, this movie could be a comedy great. Kutcher as an architect, Rudd as an artist, and Johnson as an actor all living in Manhattan as roommates is enough of a plot for a movie. Throw in them finding a baby that belongs to one of them and the movie could be a classic. 1. The Most Dangerous Game. Many individuals will probably be familiar with the short story The Most Dangerous Game as an entry in their middle school English book. Less people, however, will know that there is a movie from 1932 based off of this book. The story, written by Richard Cannell, follows Sanger Rainsford, a hunter who is shipwrecked on his way home from hunting big game in Africa. Rainsford finds himself on an island where he finds the home of General Zaroff. Rainsford finds Zaroff helpful at first, but the tables quickly turn when Zaroff sends him out into the wilderness to be hunted. This is a thrilling and unique story that could easily be brought into the current era. Dwayne Johnson would be more than convincing as the big game hunter. As for Zaroff, Jason Statham, Michael Jai White, Thomas Jane, or Sam Worthington could bring the madmen to life. This could kickstart a franchise following Rainsford's adventures, but producers must be careful not to fall into a Taken situation where they make the same movie multiple times.
Thank you for watching videos.